everywhere you go for the rest of your life, everyone will know that you're imperfect.
Hello people, Squash Corner, and I just want to talk about how life, low-key, is a humiliation ritual. And I don't want this video to be me being a doomer. It's just like, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of like my story a little bit, and what's the takeaway, what we can learn from this. And I feel like a lot of young dudes, well, I'm a dude, so like I'm specifically talking to dudes because I don't know how it is in the female gaze, etc. But long story short, I was in a state where it looked like, you know how like society tells you there's like a certain standard you have to meet. I live in LA, so a car is kind of a must. So I kind of fixed a rusty old car with a little bit of help, I would admit. But that process of no license, this happened a good number of years ago, but no license, I have to build this car, fix it, etc. It was really stressful. Not just that, but I wasn't working at the time and I was in debt, so it was pretty a bad time. But like in societal standards, you know, that's loser material. You know what I mean? Like that's bad. No es bueno. That's not a person that looks promising, etc. So it took me like 2 years to, you know, like what's it called? Like it was a 2-year journey. I was overweight too, so it was a 2-year journey of losing the weight. I got a job to pay for therapy, and what's it called? I got the car fixed, and like everything kind of went. I got out of debt, made money, etc. Everything went good. So for some reason, I felt like the societal standard will get you exactly what you want, and which sounds obviously no, but it kind of destroys you thinking about the end goal when you're thinking about the end goal of what to get, and it just doesn't happen. Because this is the thing, nobody owes you anything. When I say life's a humiliation ritual, it's we're getting taught, you know, like I don't believe anybody's inherently evil or good, but the information we're getting fed by media or family, it's like, be the good guy, do these pillars, everything will work out for you. And there's truth to it, but it doesn't solve everything. So like after an example I could give is I have 2 years bartending experience, and I kept stopping by places to potentially get a job there because it was a better gig. If there was a lot of quote unquote promises, I was talking to a lot of people, it just didn't happen. And it even got to a point where I went somewhere where even the manager's like, oh, you work there? But that's the thing, everybody that I listened to told me you need at least 2 years. And it just didn't get me the jobs that I want, the close area places that would have been super easy to just commute to. And it just didn't work. Another thing too is I feel like society's like, get those, you know, pillars and all that important stuff. You know, it kind of reminds you of like, you know, it's like looks maxing and all that stuff. It's like you're trying to be as high profile as possible. And I feel like a lot of dudes, I think they think about women first, then community. So what ends up happening is they end up getting rejected. A lot of dudes are alone now where like, yeah, they're getting rejected, or it's not the woman's fault. They could be already in a relationship. But I feel like from society, social media, etc., I'm pretty sure women feel the same way due to Instagram, where it's kind of like social media is like, you should be living your best life, and you post about it. But everyone deep down is struggling and is trying their best. And they just, when you see things online, people are like, oh, I have to be in that level, but you can't be in that level. This is all a ruse, you know? The 1%ers are partying and doing all that stuff. You could party too, but most likely you're probably better at it. That's what I'm trying to say. So once I got these 4 pillars, I thought I would be so much happier, but I was like, it made me happy for like a week. Like once I got all that crap, it made me happy for a week. Then I'm like, now what? And basically I feel like society, or if you go to, social media, etc., it would be like, well, get a better car. Cause that's the thing. My car is like rust and bolts. Still works, but rust and bolts. And it's like, okay, get a better car. Oh, there's always a new milestone. When I hit the milestone that I wanted to hit, when it came to money, it was like, well, I kind of want this now. It just keeps adding. When I would admit, look, I buy a bunch of stupid stuff, And it was just like, well, now I want this done with this thing, this thing, this thing. There's no ending to this. It's like once you get, I would say my quality of life got relatively better once I got all that, but it peaks, you know? And if you talk to people, I met multiple people that were like, I judge people based off their cars, what they like, etc. Like, I would admit, looking at this stuff, like, if I brought some rando, I'm pretty sure they would be like, oh, what a fucking chud, you know what I mean? That I have all these, like, fucking female figures. You should be having specific qualities in your life. Even if you have all the 4 pillars, it might not be enough. Like, for example, like, I try to work out regularly, but I don't have a six-pack. And you just keep comparing yourself. And not just that, but when you talk to other people that are more on the toxic side or they're struggling as well, a lot of it's not positive, man. Like, I want to say another thing is social dynamics, where if you're in a social setting, there's always like people trying to like raw dog you, bite you in the back, what's it called, talk behind your back, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm not trying to be doomer gloomer, but all of this is like a lesson, you know? So for example, in social settings, I just don't play the game, you know, don't participate in it. As a heat of warning, whatever goals that you want, whatever society, your parents, whatever, tell you what to do, it's not going to solve all your problems. What's it called? The more things you have to worry about, the more problems you're going to have. I would say the pillars that I've been saying is worth doing, but it's not going to solve every problem. Another thing too is like the job market. It's just being told no constantly, even though it's like, but I did all this. Me getting the 2 years of bartending experience, I did all this. Where's my thing? You know, with women and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of men are just like, I guess I have to keep climbing to get a potential partner. It's just, I think you're making life harder if you keep focusing on things you can't control. Women don't owe you anything if you climb this ladder. Society doesn't owe you anything climbing this ladder. It's a good fundamental basis of what to have, but it's not going to solve all your problems. And again, to not be doom and gloom, whenever shit happens, you have to kind of just learn from it, you know? Like, okay, that's good to know that if I get all this, it's not going to solve my happiness. If I, if I'm trying to get a partner and stuff like that and I get rejected, reflect on it, you know? If you keep saying, woe is me, you're never going to get out of this rut and you're going to go in a big depression state. I will say, though, that constantly getting rejected from a job, an internship, potential partner, or pretend you even found like a community and a friend group that you just don't match with because you didn't put boundaries and stuff like that, it really hurts, you know, it really brings you super down, but you have to just keep fighting. I would say, stop chasing stuff, stop chasing success. Do your best to enjoy the process by living the life you want to live, not what society wants you to do. You can't let society tell you what to do because it's probably not going to make you happy. Everyone's their own individual. You have to see what you could do that is fun and just strive for it. And if people don't accept that, you're going to be trying to impress people that you don't want to end up becoming anyway. So, moral of the story is, keep fighting. We're living in a really weird time where there's constant comparisons and there's kind of a general idea of what you should do, but you have to just keep showing up every day, specifically you. And I will tell you straight up that you have to be realistic with it. Of course, everyone needs money. This is how the world works, you know? Depending on where you are, a car probably is a good idea. Depending if it's like a big city or whatever, usually. So these pillars is a good fundamental basis, but you have to live for yourself. And I personally feel like, pretend you're like, hey, I want a partner, I want a community. Keep showing up, have good boundaries that makes you feel like you're not walking on eggshells. And I think everything will go positive. If you just give up right now, the world is gonna, like, you're literally gonna be a chud, and nobody wants to be a chud. So you have to just be positive and be like, I have a roof over my head, I have food, I could figure this shit out, and live a life that makes me feel whole. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Keep fighting the good fight, boys, and goodbye.
With all your imperfections, you can do anything.